Just found out boyfriend is seeing someone else. Does this count as cheating? As the title suggests, I found out some very upsetting news. My boyfriend and I have been low contact since he found out a month ago that I had cheated on him. The cheating happened over 4 months before he found out, when I was at a house party and had gotten tipsy. I had really hit it off with a guy there who had also had a bit to drink, and I ended up going back to his place. We had a couple more drinks and then slept together. I left in the morning and never contacted the guy again. I told my friends that we had just gone to a different party together and then parted ways. I had hoped that no one would find out what I had done, as I regretted it and was deeply ashamed of my actions. I loved my boyfriend then and still love him now, and I never wanted him to find out, since I knew it would hurt him and hurt our relationship. I had forgotten all about it, but I got into a fight with one of the friends at the party, and as revenge, she told my boyfriend about me leaving with this man. He got very angry and demanded that I tell him everything. I was completely honest, since I thought that was the best way to win back his trust. But the more I told him, the angrier he got. He left our apartment and stayed out all night with some friends. Then the next day he got most of his things and moved in with his sister. He did leave some things, so I thought he was just staying there while he cooled off, not leaving for good. However, it has now been a month since he left, and he's still living at his sister's. Then 2 days ago, he posted a Snapchat story of himself with a girl who I've never seen before. I did some digging and found out from a mutual friend that he had been on a couple of dates with this girl. I phoned him as soon as I found this out and told him how much this was hurting me. What he said was not what I expected at all. He told me that he didn't see why I was so upset, since I was the one to cheat. I felt horrible when he said that, because I was trying to make progress, but he was still living in the past. I told him, begged him to stop going out with this girl, but he hung up on me. Now I'm feeling even worse, and I'm scared that he may choose this new girl over me. Reddit, what should I do? I want us to move past this, I really do. I want to create a new track record for myself as someone who makes smart choices and is a great partner. I know it doesn't happen overnight, but I'll keep trying. I just want him to give me a chance. Any advice? A pep date? I know that my last post had a lot of negative comments. Most of them were telling me that he had already moved on and to let him go. These comments are not helpful, and I am not willing to let this relationship end over one stupid decision at a party. I know this post will probably get the same response, but I really need help as things have gotten worse. I'm hoping someone here has been in a similar situation and has some advice for me. My boyfriend is still seeing this girl, and according to my friend, he met her on a dating app. Hearing this crushed me, since it shows he was looking for someone else on this app and had full intentions of replacing me. I can't believe he's doing this. I've turned a corner since my cheating and have started changing on a deeper level. I have explicitly stated my intentions multiple times to him of saving this relationship, putting in whatever work is necessary, and have been working really hard on myself regardless as well. He knows where I stand, and I'm so upset. For a while, I was even considering not even taking him back after what he's put me through. I understand that a lot of what he's doing is acting out because of my cheating, though. He's been hurt and is hurting me back to show me how it feels. I'll wait until he's tired of this girl if that's what it takes. I've been giving him all the space he needs, but I'm worried he'll keep getting closer with her if I wait too long. Is this the time to let my claws out? Story 2. Caught my M41 wife, F43, secretly messaging/flirting with ex-BF. She's still doing it. What now? My wife and I have been together for over 20 years, married for over 15. We started dating when I was 19, and she was my first and only serious girlfriend. Her life and childhood before we met was really rough and was much different than my altogether average childhood. She grew up in a dysfunctional household, alcoholic father, and developed behavioral problems that manifested as things like promiscuity and drug addictions, which resulted in her spending time in foster care, where she was sexually abused, and she eventually ended up in jail. She got out, got clean, got a job, started to turn her life around, and met me. We got married, had kids, currently elementary/middle school aged, and now here we are. Fast forward to 2019. I was having a good year. I was in great physical shape, and I was navigating a major career transition. The career thing was challenging, but it was manageable since my health and my family marriage were, I thought, going well. But in the summer, things started going downhill. I injured myself and ended up needing surgery that involved a long recovery time. Thankfully, I thought, I still had a great marriage wife to support me through this, and she did. I couldn't have gotten through the first few months of recovery without her. At this point, I was incredibly thankful for her and her support, and I was feeling good about our relationship, but something felt off. I was feeling a little too dependent/needy, and I started to notice some changes in my wife that had been occurring over the last year. For example, she began losing a lot of weight, about 50 pounds. She began focusing a lot on her appearance, buying new shoes, buying new skin and hair care products, and spending a lot of time on hair routines. Her libido went way up, and we were having more and better sex than we had in a long time. She started saying things to me like, "If you're going to cheat, please talk to me about it first. I have never cheated, nor am I someone who would do that." Earlier in the year, she had asked me if I'd be okay with her reaching out to an old ex-BF, we'll call him George, because he showed up on Facebook, and she'd been feeling bad about the fact that she cheated on him approximately 25 years ago. She never had sex with George, but she felt that she'd wronged him and wanted to apologize and come to some closure. I gave her the okay to do this and didn't really think all that much of it at the time. She mentioned George's name in passing a few times over the course of a couple months, and I started to get suspicious. So late last year, I returned from a work trip, and I looked through her phone. We've always had each other's passwords, and I found a secret text thread with George. She had deleted most of the history, but most of the texts I saw were from her. It was a little flirty, but ended essentially with, "We're both married and this needs to stop." I confronted her about it, and she was immediately super apologetic. She said she started going to therapy specifically because of her challenges with this guy, and she agreed to unfriend him and cut off all communication. A couple weeks later, we had a fight about it again, mainly because I was still feeling shitty and anxious. She freaked out, left the house, disabled location services, changed her phone password and her social media passwords. She came back after about an hour, but to this day has not changed her passwords back or told me her new passwords, and she does not intend to. A few days after this fight, she went out with some friends. I still had her computer password and her text synced to her computer, so I looked again, and she was texting a friend saying that George might be in the area and she might want to meet up with him. So I confronted her about this again, and after lying about it to my face, she eventually came clean. She was not apologetic. She walked back her previous apologies and acted like she never really did anything wrong by just texting this guy. She started shifting the blame to me, saying I shouldn't have looked through her phone and that she can never forgive me for doing that, and saying that I've been too needy clingy over the last 20 plus years, and that she can no longer manage my anxiety by changing her behavior, and that she's more depressed than she ever has been in her life. All of this pretty much broke me. I've been gradually grieving, dealing with these feelings, going to therapy and medication, and having been reconnecting with friends for support, and all of this has been helpful, but I'm not seeing any major changes from her. She's still going to therapy, but she won't talk much about it, and I don't see her doing many of the things she says her therapist is telling her to do. For example, journaling, meditation, getting out of the house. She's a sachem, exercising, etc. I don't see her doing anything to try and reestablish trust. And I know she's still secretly texting this guy. I don't know how often or what they're talking about, but I know it's still happening. She does not know that I know. She seems to think she can maintain/sustain both our marriage and whatever she has going on with this guy. I feel like most of me recognizes that I need to kill the puppy and end this marriage, but it terrifies me. I've never really lived on my own. Kind of crazy to admit that as a 40-plus-year-old. And even though I'm an introvert, I really don't like being alone. I will miss the company, the friendship, cuddling, the affection, the sex. I know she doesn't want the kids, so I'd almost certainly get primary custody. This is great because I love my kids, but I also have a demanding job that requires travel, so I don't know how I could manage them on my own. I would need to lean on family significantly. I also have significant assets, and the idea of her getting half of our assets' property, along with alimony, really hurts when she was the one who broke our marriage. Our state does allow for at-fault divorce, but it's apparently very rarely used. We also still have a great sex life, which I guess is a hysterical bonding thing. Whatever it is, I'm still enjoying it immensely, but it feels like it may be a little manipulative, particularly because the sex makes me feel closer to her emotionally when I'm trying to emotionally detach in order to protect myself. In any event, I made an initial appointment with a family lawyer to see what my options are. So this post is half venting, half looking for advice. Should I keep going down the path of sort out the divorce stuff in the background and keep acting like everything's okay? That is the 180. This is the path I'm on now, and in the meantime, I've been collecting as much evidence as possible of what she's been doing. I don't really like the idea of a trial separation, as I think that will just give her more time/space to step up her relationship with this guy. He lives about 1.5 hours away, so seeing him now would be difficult for her logistically. But I was thinking about presenting an ultimatum of sorts. That is, in this envelope are divorce papers, and in this envelope is a post-nuptial agreement. Make your choice? I don't know. Open to any ideas. I recognize that I'm being a bit of a chump here, and I hate that. But my self-esteem wasn't the best to begin with, and now it's pretty much gutted. Don't agree to a trial separation. When she says she's going to trial separation, she's basically asking for a free pass to screw the AP and be back in your arms safely if things were to fall apart. When she leaves, she's leaving for good. No second chances. She's been behaving and thinking like a single woman with no commitments. This marriage is done. She's not your wife anymore. She's not your friend anymore. Your obligation to her has ended. Get a lawyer fast to look out for your stuff and your rights as a parent. Keep yourself safe and your reputation clean. Tell your family and friends about the affair. They don't believe you? Show them the proof. Only talk to her through texts and emails or via the lawyer. Keep a record of everything. You need to show you're the one who should get the kids, that she's the irresponsible adult who put their lives in jeopardy. Good luck!